I've grown my business with over 87% last month, and the only way I did it is by utilizing one skill to make AI agents. And this skill I will lay out for you 100% for free. It is a skill I have never seen anyone share. I will just share it completely for free just because you're my YouTube video follower, and let's just get this opportunity straight. So right now, everybody is looking for AI agents. Every single client realizes AI is big, AI is here, we want AI in our business, but nobody knows how to make real life value, how to actually build an AI agent who gets results month after month, who brings on real life value, and that you can charge money for it. And people are willing to buy it month after month. Let me show it to you. This is my calendar. It's live. It's me, Elias van Lagen. I now have 72 events planned. 72 businesses who are begging to get AI agents, who are begging to get their business automated. And I'm just using the simple trick I will learn in this video to share it with you guys. So let us get this straight. We all know there are so many businesses. At the moment, nobody is using AI. AI can do so much powerful things, and there is one thing which is very powerful. Hold on tight to your chair, take something to note, put your seatbelt on, and listen up. If you're interested, this will be a very boring video. Boring, not as exciting as I do this intro. I just do this to get your attention past the 1 minute so you can really see what type of value I'm going to offer. But this will be a very theoretical, a very practical. You should watch this video a couple times over, start it out yourself, try the things I'm teaching, really try to understand how to make this AI agents, and in no time you will make as much money as I do. My goal is to literally grow 50% with my company every single month from now. 50% every single month. And I'm quite sure how I will get it. So please take everything you have. Let's get started. Continue to watch the video and let's go. If you're still watching this video, congratulations. You can be proud of yourself because you're going to learn so much. From the beginning, I want to make clear, if you have zero experience yet, if you even don't know what an AI agent is, if you even don't know how to code, if you even don't know how to automate, it's all perfectly fine. I was also starting with no knowledge at all. I learned everything myself. It can be learned very easily. I will try to do my best to explain it in simple terms. My English is not perfect. But bear with me, I'm going to do my best. So the tool to get this easily, we need a vehicle to make this AI tools. There are a lot of tools out there. I really love ZeroWork. That is also the tool I make most of the automations for my clients. It's very affordable. You can try it out for free. There is a very good link in the description. This is the vehicle. What this vehicle actually is, I will just log in. This vehicle is a platform, is a dashboard to automate things that happen within the browser. And a very beautiful thing is you can have access to ChatGPT from within this platform. So with this platform, you can automate anything. So anything which currently somebody does manually, in theory, you could automate it with this dashboard. So if you're getting how amazing that is, there are currently so many people literally getting paid a full salary to do repetitive jobs, even without the AI. But we can even put the AI inside, and there are so many tools who just do a very simple thing, and they charge a monthly retainer for it, and they're making millions and millions of dollars. And you could actually automate all of that with this tool, and actually quite simply, but there are a couple things you really need to understand well, and I'm going to try to lay them out in this video. Because if you can make your own agents, you can be so creative. You can literally like pick your niche, pick your industry, automate something for them and sell it to every single one in that niche in your area. That's also exactly what I'm doing. And it's maybe not going to be easy in the beginning, but if you're still watching, I'm very grateful for that, and let's get started. So what you have here, if you've first created the account and look some things up to create the account, you should also install the test bot. It's called ZeroWork. I'm not going to go over that for now because that is very basic and you can learn it everywhere. Once the agent is running, it will pop up in your running applications, or it will pop up in the above if you're using them. Okay, like you can see, it is running now. You should also log in. So you can schedule the task bots. If you can log in, you're logged in. To begin, so you can have some more feeling with how this works, we will create a very simple task bot. We will create a task bot who will go to go in market cap, who will tap the search button, who will type, let's for example say Bitcoin, who will tap on Bitcoin, and who will scrape the price of Bitcoin at this moment, and who will also put it in a database. So there are actually two ways how to automate this. One is you could just go to coinmarketcap/currency/Bitcoin, pick this URL, open it in a link, just to show you how simple it can be. Now I say when this task bot runs, the first thing it should do is open this link, and it should wait between 5 and 8 seconds. After that, it should save an element, so save web element. So I will do this. I will also create a table where we can save this element in. So I will add a new table. I will choose a ZeroWork table. You could also add a Google Sheet. So if you want to access the data, I will just write Bitcoin price. One column is the current price and the second column is the date. Just a very simple automation we can set up now, so you can get a little bit of feeling how this agents works. This will not be practical, this will not give any value to anyone, but this just gives you the feeling of how to go and start making this AI agents, which is super beautiful to start with. So we open the link and then we save an element. For this, we need the selector of this thing. I will now just do it without talking about it, but later in this video, I will explain you in so much detail how to find the right selectors. So I'm now opening it. I'm just looking to find the right selector. This looks all like very intimidating and very technical right now, but bear with me. This will be very easy after you've finished the complete video and maybe even watched it a couple times. So I'm just going to find the selector. Now you will not understand anything, and that's not a problem. In this stage, you are not supposed to do what I'm doing right now. So I found the selector. I will share it very shortly back, but now we are just making a simple tutorial. You can also find this taskbot in the description. I will share everything I make here. Now I can go to Bitcoin price. So they say, what do you want to save? I said I want to save this element. So this is the selector of the element on the page. I will explain it in so much detail a bit later. Just bear with me for now. I want to select the column price because this is the price and I can save it. The next thing I can do is also record the date because I also want to put the current date together with the price. I can just say the calendar date like this. It's perfect today, and it can save it to the date. So now every time it runs, it will save the Bitcoin price, the date, and that's it. It's just simple as that. I will even also run it now so you can see it live happening. So when I started, my taskbot is running. I have the newest version. Automatically, this page pops up and it opens the CoinMarketCap currencies Bitcoin. It now waits between 5 and 8 seconds, like I asked it to. And probably then it will try to scrape the price. And it even said it over here, like, hey, I opened the link, I saved the web element, it saved the price, it recorded the date, and it finished. And this is it. And now you can see here in Bitcoin price, we have the price. I will even run it again, just to show you how simple it is. Now you've made your very first AI agent. This is maybe not with AI, and it even brings no value, but it just shows you if even you can learn how to do this. Now by watching this video, you could automate anything after completing this video. So it actually goes a second time. It's already finished. Now this is a very interesting thing that happened. Now it gave a bug. It say from, hey, the website does not have an element that corresponds to the selector. The reason for that is because we open the link and we wait between 5 and 8 seconds, but this time is not enough. This time is not enough for the price to appear. So this was the reason why it did not work right now. And we will simply solve this by adding another block. And this other block, it's called check web element. So this check web element, this one will actually wait for the selector to appear, for the price to appear. So if I, for example, say this one, and I say like, hey, if you found it, then you can save the web element. So I can, for example, say timeout, let's say maybe 5, or let's maybe say like 15 seconds. And I also paste the selector inside, like this. It's inside. I let it wait 15 seconds. So now it will wait. And then I also can put this one back down because we don't need it anymore. Because now it will just open the page, it will keep looking if the element appears. If the element appears, it will save it. If it does not appear, it will just stop the flow and not save it. So let's run it again. This all may seem a bit much at the moment, but you're doing so great. If you're now also building this taskbot together with me and you're also running it, you may have the same problems, you may not. I run it again. You see it's taking a lot of time to load the page, to really get everything loading. It's a very slow page, but that's not a problem because now the AI is just waiting for it. And right now we see it just waited for it. It checked the web element, it found it, and then it continued saving the price. And if you now go look again in the table, you see here for a second when we had an error, so it did not save the price. But for our third round, we scraped the price. And in the time between Bitcoin already went $50 up. Wow. So I can delete this record, and this is the first complete test bot. But to be honest, in this video, I'm absolutely not going to talk about creating this test bots, because actually tomorrow Diana, the CEO of ZeroWork, is going to go do a huge update and a lot of things will change. But one thing that will never change, and which is the most difficult part of creating automations, and which is the most hard part of making these AI agents, it's actually one thing, and it's actually what I done right here. It's finding the right element within a page to select, to choose, to do things with it, to save it. You have many possibilities. You can save it, you can click it, you can check it, you can hover it, you can do so many things with it. So this is actually the base skill you need to learn. It's like having hands. It's like having hands, giving hands to the AI agent. This is the skill I will learn you. This is like teaching it how to walk, but I will teach now how to give it hands so it can grab things, it can press things, it can do anything. I give it like a mouse to do many things. This is what this video is about. In the next video, I will probably go over all the blocks and make like much more sophisticated test bots together with you guys. But for this video, I just want to keep it very theoretical, very practical. I want to get the most difficult part, the most hard part first. So I would recommend taking something to write down right now, because this will be quite complex, especially if you never automated before. But this course is made for the beginners and also already for the advanced automators, because I will lay down every single thing I know, every single thing. So let's get back on this page. To start here, this is now a page. There are so many elements here. There is this cryptocurrency, DEX scan, you can hover them, a lot of things are happening. Like we already know, with this tool, with this vehicle called ZeroWork, we can click things, we can save things, we can even ask things to ChatGPT, we can even connect with different softwares, we can connect Google Sheets. So we can connect with anything and we can let it do anything, so create any automation. But the one thing that ZeroWork needs to know is what to do. Like it always will ask, like, okay, which page to open, which element to check, which element to save, which element to click on. And those are all these little different things. One thing which is wonderful is that every single website, Facebook, YouTube, CoinMarketCap, LinkedIn, is built on the exact same way. If you can open it in a browser and you can do some things manually with it, you can automate it. And that's actually a beautiful part. So now I will teach you how to find these unique elements. We will really go for the very beginning to the very advanced, that after completing this tutorial, there will not be one website you cannot find the elements with to feed it to ZeroWork to create your AI automations. So to start, I want to begin with actually just a very simple website to make it much easier, and then we will go to more difficult ones. I will, for example, just choose weather and find like a simple weather website, maybe something like this. I'm just doing it on the top of my head. I think it's just to show you to how like easy and how straightforward it is. I think this is a really good website to begin, a very simple website. So let's say we want to automate this. Let's say we really want, it's very important for us. So this is a very simple website, but we will go into more advanced websites through this tutorials. You can also see the timestamps. I probably should have made them, so you can go back and forward, but let's just begin with a very simple thing. I will close some tabs down because I see my computer is very slow. So let me just close everything down. Okay, it's loaded. Pop. Okay, so we have the simple website here. And what I will do is I will right click on an element. So you can right click on any elements. For example, let's say this 22, and all the way down you have inspect. So it's the last thing, it's called inspect. If you tap on inspect, a whole new window will open. This window will look very intimidating. Don't get me wrong, it will look intimidating. It will look like, for technical people, maybe something you're not feeling comfortable with, but this is actually not so complicated as it seemed like. It just looks complicated because it's new to you at the moment and you've never seen this before. But if you just watch the video and try to understand what I'm saying, then it will get very easily actually for you. So if you also go and hover over this element, you will see what is happening. You can do this on any website. You will go through any element. But what this actually means is that every single element on a website has a different name in the code. So this is actually the code, what we're looking in. And what we just try to figure out is what is the name in the code, so we can give this name to the automation, to the ZeroWork, and so then ZeroWork can do the automation, can know like, oh, I'm looking for this element within the code. So even how complex this looks, there is actually a structure in here. And the structure is that you always have first something in purple, and then you have some things which are maybe like goldish with blue values. Like everywhere you see purple things, you see gold things, and you see blue things. And you see like a kind of like hierarchy. I'm just like doing some inquiry right now. I'm like a little kid who never seen this before, maybe like you, who's trying to understand what is happening here. So there is a lot of going on, and I see like every single element I can go to. There is also a little button here on the top, and with that button you can even go and check, and you see like I'm hovering over something, and the right thing is also showing where I'm hovering. So this is very interesting. So let's go back to this 22 degrees. I see now there is a little arrow here, and I can open the arrow when I see the 22 inside. I can also close it. I can close the one above. So I can open and close a lot of things. Interesting. So what this actually is, we have first the purple name, which is a div in this example, or here it is a span for the C, or it's like mostly in this website, or here is an SVG. And this is, you can see it a bit as the name. Like, let's say this is the name. And then, like, for example, you have like Tom, you have Bart, and you have, for example, Sin. And then what you also can say is, okay, this name has some attributes for example, this div, for example, if you see it like humans, this person, Bert, has long arms. This person has a blue skin. This person has purple eyes, a blue skin, is very big, and is also very wide, and has a certain height. So these are actually properties of this name, of this element. So if you can see it more like this, that you have, for example, different names, and these different names have different properties, then you can say, okay, like for example, I want to find the guy named div, which, because if you just say I'm looking for div, then 100 divs will pop up and say I'm div, I'm div, I'm div, I'm div. But if you say I want to find the guy div, which has this property, class display temp. So, and it's actually also what it's saying. It's a div who is displaying the temperature. If I want to find this guy or element, let's say instead of persons, I'm going to refer to elements for this things on the page. So this is an element, this is a different element, this is an element. So if we want to find the element named div with this property display temp, I'm pretty sure we're going to find the right one. So I can also just like double tap here and I can copy this. And there is also a way to find out if we are true, if we found out the right element. So I can go to the console. If I press console, just to get this like super simple, you have two blocks here. Element, you even have more blocks here, but for now we're only going to focus on elements and console. Elements, this is a way to find the name of the element and the properties of the element. So the name and the properties. Console, this is actually a way to interact with the website and to ask it questions. And the question we actually almost always want to ask is, hey, is this name and properties, does this equal to one element? If it equals to one element, then we are 100% sure we have the right element and we can use it in our automation. And to do this, you can write documents. So you see here documents. Then you write dot, and then you write the Q, and then you see querySelectorAll. You press querySelectorAll, you open the bracket, you type 2 times an apostrophe, and you close the bracelet, and then you have document.querySelectorAll, and this is actually a way, now this is actually the question we can ask. You don't really have to understand like what is a query, what is a selector. It's just like, this is a way, if you can write this out in the console like I just did, then you know this is actually the way to find out what is the element on the page. So document query selector all, and now I can, for example, just write div. So now I say like, hey, give me all the elements whose name is div. I find 283 elements. Here you can see how much elements you see. Of course, this is too much. This is not interesting. It may take a different div anytime I run the automation. This will not be straight. My goal is to have one element. So I'm 100% sure I have the correct element, and I'm not, I'm having the right name of the right person. I don't want to have a different person coming with different attributes, with different properties. So what I can do is I can actually write down the properties. And the properties, to write them down, it's a very specific way of writing. So first you write the full name. So the full name, so if the name is div, it's div. If it's SVG, it's SVG. If it's pen, button, it can be anything. It's the purple part. So first you write down the purple part. After, you write down an open bracelet and a close bracelet. And between that, you can paste in the property. So I'm going back to elements. I'm going to double tap this one. I'm going to press Ctrl C. I'm going back to the console. I'm going to press it inside, and look what we have here. We have one element whose name is div, who has a property display temp in the class. So it's always first the name, open bracelet, paste in the property, and close the bracelet, and have two little apostrophes here and close it. And this is actually your selector. This is the most hard part of making AI automations. It's finding the selectors. It's really hard, it's really difficult, but it can be really easy, especially if you're watching this video and also doing this along with me and also finding the selector maybe for a different site even. But try to start with something simple, because you will see in this video it can get very tough. This is actually very easy, but for you everything will be easy, even if you have no skills before. So now I have found this selector. Its name is div with the property class display temp. I can go back to the taskbot, and now I could say save this element. So I can maybe let me get a new taskbot. So now what I could do, I could say open the page. I could try to open this page, the current weather in Ajman, and then I could say save element or check element. And now I can say this div, and now I can save it into a table if I've created a table. So if it says enter CSS selector or export selector, this is the CSS selector. You have now done it. This is the most difficult part. And in this video, we will go and find more and more and more difficult CSS selectors. But to understand the basis is the most important. This is the root. And the root is we have a page which all has like elements, and all these elements have names and properties, and we want to find unique ways to find properties and names to find a unique way. This is the basics. If you're already not understanding this, I recommend you to rewatch the last 10 minutes, because it only will get more difficult from here. So now the basic thing we learned is we have a name and we have a property, and this way we can find a unique element in the console, and if we found this, we can use our vehicle to automate things. I will be using less and less ZeroWork and more this console and elements to show you how it's done. So this is the very first part. It's called finding a CSS selector. Now we will go and make it a bit more like I will now, like now you have like, you know, like a way of going, like a way of finding things. And now I will give you attributes. Like for example, you're playing a game, you're playing, let's say, a survival game, and now I left you with your hands. You already have something. And now in the following minutes, or maybe even hours, I'm not sure how long this will take, I will give you an axe so you can cut trees. I will give you something to fish. I will give you something to, I will even give you like a boat or a car or a house, or every single way you can make it easier to finding the selector super easy, and to on any website find the right selectors. I know this is super boring to watch. I warned you in the beginning, but the fact that you're spending this time right now watching to this boring video means you care for yourself and you want to learn the most important skills where you can make too much money with. So be very proud of yourself that you're watching here. And this is boring, it's true. Nobody likes it, but it's so important to understand as well. And that's also why I'm trying to go very slowly. So let's continue. The second tool I will give you to find the selectors is, now we actually made, like we put the exact match. We say like, hey, the class should be display temp. But what we can also do, it's called a loose match, is if you put a star, like a bright star, in front of the equal sign, So now if I say like class equals display temp, it has to be like that. It has to equal display temp. If I remove the P, I don't find it anymore. It has to equal exactly the display temp. So it has to be exactly this. If I put the star before, so now you have class star equal, then it means this should contain a word. So it should contain a word. So now I say, I want to find, for example, a selector which name is div, who has a class which contains the word display. I can look for that. So if I now remove this whole temp, I now found two selectors who names are div, who have the property class which contains the value display. And I even see I can now also like press enter, and then I can check what are the two things, and this one contains display and this one contains display. So also a very interesting thing to know, if you pressed enter, you can just press arrow up and you will have back your last query that you made, your last prompt that you made. So this is a very interesting way. Maybe you are not understanding right now why this is handy or why not, because you can say like, okay, we already found the selector and we already found a way to save this data, so why would we need this? And I understand now it's a bit difficult, but in this moment I'm just trying to give you all the tools you can use within this field of finding the right selectors to choose, because this now is very easy. But if we later on go, for example, to Facebook, or maybe let me now go to Facebook. If I now go to Facebook and I will open the same console, you will see it looks much more difficult, because of course this sites like Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, they don't like it too much that you're automating them. They try to prevent it, so they try to make it difficult. But if you hold on tight, watch this video, it will become so easy for you that even the most difficult site you can automate. Really, it will take some time, but let's go and get there together. So if I now, for example, inspect this thing here, I inspect this, say for example, I want to scrape this title. I'm seeing all these elements here, and I pressed it. Let me also hover over it. So now I'm hovering over it, and like you can see, we have like so many strange classes here and so many strange IDs here, and like it looks much more like Chinese. Like for example, if you just look at this page, it's just like all gibberish. it's all gibberish, but for example, if we want to scrape something like this, we will need to find our way within this gibberish to find the right selectors. And to find the right selectors within this gibberish, we will need to use the method with the star to say like, hey, for example, if a class contains HTML div, then I want to find it back, so you can remove all this gibberish away from it. So like your so yeah, like this is the way to really separate the gibberish from yourself, is sometimes to lose what's called a loose match, so that you can just put a star, and for example I can just put a star in this and I still have the same element. I can also, if you want to copy the element, you have to copy everything between the two little apostrophes, and you can just paste it inside. You can paste that one inside. So this selector is also a way to identify this specific element on the website. It's with a different method. It's called a loose match. So it's the same way, and we will use this a lot when we continue and go about a bit more difficult ways of finding selectors. So now we already know we can, one, find selectors by their name and their properties. Two, we can find selectors by their name and the name of their sub-property or their class. Like it's always like two things. It's a gold value and a blue value. And the gold value, you cannot really say like I want class with one S, because those are always unique and those are always nice words. But the blue value, you can say I want a purple value with a gold value who contains something blue. So for example here, I want a purple value with the gold value who contains display and a hyphen, and then I also have it. So this is another way. So these are already two ways of finding selectors. I will now add a third way, and the power is to combine all these ways to finding the right selectors. Like this took me months to realize, this took me months to learn, and I will lay it down everything I know about selectors in this simple video. So probably not so many people are this tough who are still watching and trying out and learning, but really congratulations, you should be proud of yourself. You're learning what I learned in 10 months, truly. So the next thing we're going to talk about is hierarchy. So hierarchy is actually what you see right here. You see like you have like this. So you should look left right now. You have like this left thing, and within this left thing is this. So within this element is this element. Within this element is this element. Within this element are these two elements. Within this element is this element. Within this element is the 22. So you see it has a hierarchy. If I go all the way up, I have everything. I go a bit down, I start to have like this. Then I have this. Then you see it always becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So what it actually is, we call it parents and children. So the grandfather is the body. The body is like the grandfather. It's like our ancestors. It's like the elder one. It's like the one we respect is the body. Should also respect your body, of course. And then from the body on, the body has a child. That child made some other childs. One of this child made one more child. And these childs all make children and children and children. And until you go to the child, the end child, the last child, and it's usually that last child you want, and you want to save that, or you want to tap that, or you want to hover that. And this is also a way of explaining a selector. You can also say like, hey, for example, you can say I have childs. And these you can save, for example, let me see. You can save on kijk. You have, for example, this div with this property. Let me just copy paste it. So you have a div, div with this property. So this is the div. You see, you only have like one div. I found it. Yeah, and I can see it when I click it. I go exactly to here, and what we can see is this div have 3 childs. This is one child, this is second child, and this is the third child. So to find out the childs, you can just put a greater than sign, and for example, then I write div. My excuses, I was wrong. It just has it has 2 div childs. So yeah, sorry, like here it's closed already, so it's just this. So it has 2 childs here. Yeah, also when you see it visually, it has this child and this child, so 2 childs. It's also called a 2-column page content, column 1, column 2. And now I can, for example, say I want to have the second child. So bear with me. If you put this greater than sign, it means you want to select a child. And then you can now say, now you have 2 elements, but I want to say I want the second child. I don't want the first child, I want the second child. Then you can say double. It's like, I don't even know what this word in English is, but just look what this is. English is not so perfect. And you can write it down, child. Child and the age, and then you write the number. So I, for example, want 2 now. It's the other way around. It's and the age. Yeah, sorry. So it's div double. So yeah, this the sign. It's div the sign, and then it's nth hyphen child, and then you can say the number, the child number you like. You want the first child or the second child. So now, for example, I say the first child. If I say the second child, I get the second child. So this is exactly the 2 childs that you see here. This is the first child and this is the second child. And you can go without giving, and so you have like so many ways to go to Roman. And now it seems easy because you can say, oh, you can just pick the div with the property class page 1 or yeah, it's very easy. But I'm just trying to give you the tools how to get to selectors. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. It can feel a little bit overwhelming, but I promise if you watch this a couple times over again and you really try it out, and you also go to the more advanced stuff and you try it also out, it will be second nature to you. It will really be second nature to you. So now we can say we have the child. So for example, I choose now, let's say child 1. And I can go all the way further from that. So I can say child 1, and then I can also go and look, what does this child 1 have? This child 1 have also 2 childs. So child 1 have this one and this one. So now I want to say, I want to take the first child again. So if I go further, and so you can go very long. So if I go again and say like div, you see I have 2 childs again, and I'm just now going to copy paste this and put it behind so I get the first child. So you're really laying out the full hierarchy of this parents and this child, and it all comes down to it all comes from the root. So now when I now look what I have already this. So now I can open this again. I can open it, and now I want the second child. So now I will take the second child. So now I can go again. I will again write greater than sign. I will again write div, and I will write the second child. So I will paste this up. Now I have the second child. Okay, So now let me see what I have, and you see I'm really getting there. This one also has like 3 childs, and here I also want the second child. So I can just go again, and I can just actually copy the whole thing here. Control C space Control V. So now I put again the second child, and you see we already here. So now here when I open it, I see it's the first child I want, and then it's again the first child. And then when I have this, I want the second child. Here I want the first child again, and here I have it. And this is a way how I can get to it without even having to use the properties. So especially on websites like these, where you see so many crazy numbers, and because all these numbers, all these things are changing constantly. But if you're just following the hierarchy and literally saying the child of this child of this child of this, then you will always find the right selector, because this diffs and this hierarchy will always be the same on every page. But what makes you really strong is a combination of these tools, is if you really combine this 2-3 tools together that I will share with you, and that way you can be, because this is too much work. If you would make selectors like these, it would take ages. So you don't want to rely on this way alone. You actually want to have like different tools. And now I'm just very simply explaining you every single tool there is, and then we will go on into the real world and finding like selectors of very difficult places, combining all these things I'm telling you right here, right now. So I hope you're still with me. So this is actually, it's called the hierarchy, and this is the child, the amount of child. So it's actually 2 things the same time I explained you. So now we have already the names with the properties. We have the loose match with the star. You can even do that also in here. You can say, okay, this one with the loose match, that's also the beautiful thing. You can combine them all. You see, if I'm even like removing all these things, it still keeps the same thing, because I put the star right here. We have the hierarchy, and what I also could do right now, like just for example to show you, I could also say now, like from this div, I want to have, wait, let's see where we are right now. So now we are inside this, and this one have like two child hook. And now I want to say from this div, instead of saying I want the first child, I can also say I want to child with the property class current weather. So I can also say this. I can also say like, hey, you have this this child, and I want to say I want to have a child with the property class. And you also will see it will only return one thing, because there's only one child with this property. So now I didn't use the child method, but I used the property method. So, and that's also the very powerful thing. If you learn how to use this loose match, this child way, this way of really making these classes, of using the classes, you can make you can already automate 99% of the websites, because this is actually very complex for beginners, and that's why I try to explain it as easy as possible. And if you're not understanding this right now, that's okay. I know it's a bit hard, it's a bit much, especially because you're very beginning. So it's not a problem if you're not. You can also go over it a couple times, but it will also become much more clear if we are going into some more real life, real term experiences. So we have this, now we have here. What I also want to explain is you have something as a direct hierarchy, and this is actually this greater than sign, but you also have something like a loose hierarchy. And what this loose hierarchy is for example, that I can say I have this as, for example, let me go back in here. So I have worried. So now we are saying like the child of the child of the child of, but what you can also say is the grandson or the grandson of. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. So now we're saying the child, but you can also say, you know, with, and for example, this is very powerful in here. You can, for example, say you have this post, and within this post, within a post, I want to find a time or an or a name. So you can say within the post is for example the grandfather, and the name is the grandson, and you don't want to say the whole link, but you can just say within this grandparent, I want to have this grandson. And the way to do that is actually by using a space instead of this greater than sign. So I can just like remove all this. Pop. And you see, I still have exactly the same because I just put this. You cannot really see right now. Maybe I cannot do it like that. But there is a space in between. Now I remove the space and now I put the space. And this space actually shows like, hey, there is a relation between these two. This space shows like this element is somewhere a grandchild of, for example, this element or this element. So that's also nice. So then we can say like, hey, for example, I want to work within this container. So for example, let's say this div. Now to give like a very clear, so I have div, I paste again the thing. So now I have like this container. I even will make it a loose match because it's like very long. So the current weather card seems straightforward to me. So now I have the current weather card, and now I can ask from, hey, within, so give me all the SVG, for example, things within this, within the whole card. So now when I see we have this SVG, and this is actually, and these are two SVGs which are also on the page, but which we cannot see. If I, for example, say, give me every SVG without saying this div, we see we have 69 of them. So now I'm saying, give me, or I can also say like span, which is like another name. I can say, give me every span, and here we say this is a span. Or I can even simply just say, give me all the divs. Give me all the divs. And now it will give me all the divs within this element. So you see everything I'm selecting right here is within this element that we have chosen. So this is also very powerful to say, especially if you want to work within a specific element. You can first find the selector of that element, and then you can with the space say, okay, give me now the child, this element, or you can work with the child. But this is actually what the space does. So I can also say like, yeah, within this element, I want to find, for example, I want to find a div with this property. So I can also say I want to find a div for this property. And again, we have one solution because now it says within this element, I want to find a child or a grandson, or there is no like amount of how far it is. It's just everything which is inside. So everything. So I want to find all the divs which has a property display temp, which are inside the element current weather card. And now I'm finding them all. So this is actually, so please write this all down, these different things, because it's my excuses, it's the combination of all of them. It's the combination of all these different things that are actually going to make us, that it's going to make us possible to find the unique selector on any website. And this is the hardest part. This is the hardest part of automation. If you're figuring out this just a little bit, if you're understanding it just a little bit, then you absolutely have done the hardest part. There is nothing harder. The rest is super easy. The rest is very straightforward. But this is the hard part, you already see. But also realize, because this is hard, not many people are doing this. Not many people are teaching about this. And because this is hard, when you learn it, you can make a lot of money with it, because other people cannot do it. You're the only one that can do it. So all the clients will come to you because you're the one that can do it. And this is thanks to that it's a little bit hard. So please be grateful that this is hard, that this is not so easy. Because this is hard, you will be able to differentiate with all the other AI automators. You will be able to differentiate or automate something nobody else can automate. So it will make you very powerful as a human being, because everything is with websites. All the websites have these selectors. All the websites are going to exist. People want to have so many websites automated. So please be grateful that this is not super easy, but I hope it gets a little bit easier by me explaining it, and I hope you still have the motivation to continue to watch this video, because now we are going to put our skills in action. So we've learned the basics and how to find the selectors, the unique identifier for something on a web page. And I'm now going to use LinkedIn as an example to explore together and see if we can use our skills that we've created right now to find some selector of some basic things. And I hope you will also try this, because LinkedIn is quite a difficult platform to automate in comparison to most websites. So if we can do this with just the skills we've learned in a minute before, we are already a very big way into becoming a very powerful automator. So I've opened the profile of the CEO of ZeroWork, which is Diana Reese. To my opinion, a wonderful person. Let's see if we can find the selector for her name. Her name, it's an H1 with a class which contains some crazy values, and then like a word and T24. I personally think there is only one H1 on this page, so this will be enough to find her name. Let's check it out. So I will just say H1, and look, here we found it. We have one thing and this is her name. Okay, so this was quite obvious. We can also add the class, but it's not necessary if there is only, like I mentioned, the thing with the persons. At the moment, there is only one H1, so only one person or only one element's name is H1. So we don't have to specify the class, we don't have to specify any properties. We can just say H1 and we found the name. And I'm sure this is for every single page on LinkedIn H1. So if you want to just scrape names from URLs, you could do it this way with the H1. Let's see if we can find the title. So the title, it looks a bit more complicated, but let's see how we can find it. So we have a class which is text body medium break words. We have another class, data generated suggestion target, which is interesting. Inside is the text. So we could try this class. Let's see what that happens. So I say it was a div with this class, and we also already found it. Now the question is, will this be the same for every single LinkedIn profile? So just to test out, let's go to another profile. Now we have this profile, which is a completely different profile. I will also try this selector, and we still have the same response. So if I try to find the selector, I still have this response. So that means it's probably going to work for every single page we go to. I can also try the H1 again. If I just type H1, you see I also find one result. So this is also working perfectly. You see already that the skills we just learned, you can now already start to use in a real life example. How cool is that? Let's try something different. I want to scrape her amount of followers. So I have here a span with the class tbold. Let us see what that gives if we just try to find this selector. So if I just try span, I have 500 results, which is way too much. If I also give an identifier, I still have 2 results. So I have 1 result, which is the followers, and 1 result, which is the connections. So now I have to differentiate between the 2. How I will do this is I will click again on the selector, and here I see, now I will, like here you see you have the both. So here you see the differentiation. So you actually want a list which is the first child, and within this list you want to have the spam. So now we want to use the child way. So I will say before the spam, I can say LE from the list and then double punt NTH child 1. And now you see we only have 1 more result. So we found the selector. So it's this one. Also note that I can say the child, but I don't have to mention the parent. I could also say you have the UL and then I want a child from it. It will also work, but I don't have to mention the parent. I can just say this is a first child. So it will look for the first child of the parent. That is this one, and the spam within. So actually, if you're also doing this, which you should, in the same time, and this is working for you, very powerful. Little applause for you. You can be very proud of yourself. You'll be one of the very few who still sticks around and listens to me. So I'm thinking to maybe do something more complex. For example, let's do the see more button. Let's say we, for example, want to press this see more button. So I first want to inspect it. And then you see I have this button. And I let's first check what happens if we just look for button. So I want to see if I look for button. We have 69 buttons, so that's a bad way to differentiate. But this button, it's within a spam, and the spam. You know what we also can see is this is the only button within this container, within this element. So if I can find the selector for this element, I can just search for a button within this element. So let me see if I can find this about sections element. And I think it's this one. So this one, is it maybe a section which contains PV profile card breakwords, or just the data view profile card? I think maybe this one will be a unique property of the section. So now the purple thing is section. So I want to write before it section, and then I want to put the property of that section, and now I still have 50 results. So this is not a good differentiation. I can also look which are all the other ones. There are lots down, so there are probably some more profile sections which have this one. So the next thing I could do is maybe also add this class. Let's see what happens then. So we have this one, and this is also something I have not said yet, but if you want to add different properties, so you can add multiple classes, you just put them behind each other. So you can just again put like two brackets and then just paste the class inside. So something like this. I think I did not really copy it well, so I want to try again and copy it. It's because it's a very crazy class. I will just try to do it with the loose match. So I can, for the second class, create like a loose match, but still there are 50 results. So this is also not a good way of working. We're getting not closer to our goal. What we can also do is we can say the section, it's probably always the first section, or maybe like before I also see a section here. So let me see, here I see section. Let me close this down. So we have like the main, which contains everything, and then we have like one section, and this is like the second section. So I could also say like section is the second child, and within that section I want to find the button. So let me try that. So for example, if I just even say section, double punt, and th child, I set the second one, and I want a button in there. I still have 4 buttons, so I'm getting a little bit closer. These buttons are also here, for example, because this is also the second section. This is also the second section from a different one. But I also saw, like over here, we have the main. So if I put the main in front, should solve the problem. So I can put main, and even it's a direct hierarchy. Then section, second child, and in there a button. And if I now check, I have the see more button. So now I could, for example, within the task box, have like a click web element, and I could put this selector I found. So also right now, if you can also really understand where I'm coming from and how I'm finding the selector, please try something out yourself. Like for example, let's say this button here. Try it now out for yourself. Pause the video. See if you can find it. If you can find it, congratulations. You can continue the video. If you did not find it, please continue also to watch the video, and I will explain it right now how I would go about it. So we have here the button. And this button has an area label, more actions. So this is already like a very, very, very specific way of defining something. So I want to just see if I can find a button with more actions. I find 2 buttons, so I'm actually very close already. I find one here at the top and one here. So I already know the one in the top, because I already know a bit the structure now, is not within the main list. So if I just put main in front, I should be able to have the right one. So I just will do space main, And now I only have one button. Here is the button. If you don't remember, I just picked main because if we scroll a little bit up, we have the sections here. And here we have main. So the other button was over here somewhere. So I know if I choose this main, the other button will not be chosen anymore because the main is only this part. Of course, there are 100 different ways to find the selector. You could also work many different ways. If you just do document.querySelectorAll and find a way where if you hover over this result, it shows the button, that means you've succeeded. If not, no worries, we're here to learn. You can maybe go again and watch the first part of the video, or you can continue watching and try to continue. So now I actually feel very confident we can just scrape anything from this page. So as last deeds, let's also scrape the last experience, so the top experience. So here we have a co-founder. This one I want to scrape. So we see already it's a spam. It's a spam and it's like within this A. This looks like a bit more difficult, to be honest. So this is also very, very interesting. Because we also need to know that this one and this one and this one are going to be exactly the same structure. So the first thing we also want to do is differentiate this one from this one. So now we are still only in this one. Here we have like a list, and this list is this class, and within this list here we see like the different items within the list. So we know already we need to have an LE where it's the first child. So I will already just start writing this down. I will say, okay, look, we have an LE, which is the first child. 1. We have 71 things, which is a lot, but just let's look further. So let's first differentiate this LE, and then we can go further to find the spam within this IE. So here we have again this section, but we know already that we cannot differentiate with this. But here we have something interesting. We have a div, but it's not, I think, within the hierarchy. It's more like a brother. These are like, you have like children and brothers and sisters, and we're looking for like parents which have like unique IDs. So this one is actually a bit more difficult because we don't really see like very fast there's like no like section, no like name, like for example experience would be perfect, which can differentiate this section with the other sections. For example, this is also a section, and if you put them next to each other, there is not really a difference. So I would still choose like the same way, and that way is that we count like which section it is. So we have section 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's section 4. So we actually could just say section NTH child 4 and a space. And now we still have 7, but let's see what's happened. I have probably also here in the side. So if we also add like main to the beginning, we know we already away from that. We can just put a space, main. Now we only have 3, which is still interesting. So let's see which ones we have. I'm actually, where was I looking? I'm looking for this one. So I'm actually in the wrong section. I'm in the section above, so it's the 5th section for this profile. So let's take the 5th section. Now I have 6. And now you see, now we are already somewhere. We have some different things also, because there are lists within lists. But if we can now, like, this list comes from, like, it's like you have this section, and then you have a div, and then you have the UL, and I can actually write this down. So you have the section, then we have a child which is a div, then we have a child which is a UL, and then we have this list. And now we see, now we only have one list anymore. So now we are already this far. So the next thing we want to do is within this list, I think we wanted the title, is find this title. So I remember the name was a span. So I will just say span. We have, of course, 11 results because there are a lot of spans within this thing. We want this one. So let's see if we can find something else. So it's within this div display flex, and I think this is maybe something which can differentiate from the other ones. So let's see. So now I can add this class in between the spam and the result. Now we only have 2 anymore. So this is getting very, very closely. So we have like a type of a hidden one and this one. So now we can actually really like type out the direct relation between, so we can differentiate like with the span and this hidden span. They're actually here next to each other. So I can actually say I have now this one. So I can say it has a div below, or I can just say it's the first span because they're like 2 brothers. So I can just actually say from the span that it's the first one. So NTH child first one. Let's go. We also have this one. So this is actually how you can find any selector on any website, and so it's if it's like Facebook, like all the things you see here, like in the beginning, this sounded so abstract and complex, and now you have the skill set to literally on any page, like I can just go to the home page, and even in here I will be able to find like very, very easily, like what is the selector of this, for example. I can just go in here and I'll already start to look to it, or to this button, or I can already see there are like different posts, and I can try to find like what is the differentiation with a post. And you really, like you see, you have the feed here. You really already know so much. Okay, now for the very last challenge. And if you understand this, you can literally go ahead and automate anything you like. We will learn how to work with lists, because on every web page you have a lot of lists. The items in the list can be different. Everything can be different. And in this last section, I will show you how you can work with lists. And for this example, we will, for example, scrape the people from LinkedIn. If you understand this well, you could scrape the people on any site, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, everywhere. So this is very important. You could even scrape all the lists if you want to scrape some lists on Amazon or on eBay or on Facebook Marketplace. Some very valuable tools you can make by learning robustly how to work with lists and how to scrape lists. This is not an easy part, make sure you first understand everything before here perfectly and you already know a bit how to find the selectors. And after that, come back to this part, because this part we're going very deep. This is some very valuable knowledge I'm sharing right here. So thank you if you're still watching, and thank yourself also, because I know this is not too nice to see and to watch. I don't make this video too much crazy, or I'm not yelling 1 hour into the screen to keep the attention of the viewers. So I'm very grateful if somebody is still here, going really deep together with me. I'm not sure if you're seeing it, but the sun is already rising behind me. I'm working already all night to create this video. So let's get this done. Let's get this final thing going. Lists. What we actually will do, so I will open again. I just opened, for example, the CEO in Ajman, in Emirati. If I open the site again, so you can do it by here, by pressing next inspect, you can open it. You have the console, you have all the elements. I, for example, want now to build a scraper who scrapes all the URLs of the profiles. Very important to know is that the URLs will always be an A. An A stands for a URL. So if you want to scrape a URL, you need to look for an A. For a link, if you want to scrape a link to somewhere, you need to look for the A. The A element, the A name, is usually the name of the element. And you have multiple ways of going through lists, but what I personally prefer is a very robust way, and which will work on every single website, is that you first find the thing that differentiates. Here it's quite easy. You have like the UL and you have the LE. And if I close this, you see you have like this, all the different LEs. So this is actually a really, really good one. One thing I do not like is that it also takes this ad, because I actually would not like an ad. So I can also try to find something which is more or actually I have a better idea. Let's, for example, now ignore this ad, and later on we will check, because we know how to work with selectors. We will try to find the selector of the name element, and maybe this does not, of the A element, of the, you know, the A element within here, and this does not have it, so it will probably ignore it because it does not find it, and we will check it, and then it will go to the next one, which is also very interesting. If we are on the end of the page, we want to go to the second page. So this will be a whole tutorial in itself, so you really have to keep your seatbelt on, because we're not finished yet. And we are going to create this scraper now from scratch with all the knowledge we have. This can, like, now we are starting to get to a point where you could ask money to clients for it. Like, someone would actually want to pay for a whole list of the CEOs within a specific area or within a specific industry, and you can now create the scraper and just export all the leads to Excel and sell it. I'm just saying, this is already some value I'm creating right here. But bear with me. I've created a new task bot. So the first thing what we will do is we will create a table. Add a new table. I will create a ZeroWork table. You can export it to Excel whenever you like. I will say profiles, and I will have a column. Let's say name and URL. I'm not going to make it complicated for now. I want to add the table. So we have the name and the URL. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to open the LinkedIn URL. I'm very lucky because in LinkedIn the query is inside the URL, so it will immediately go to the right URL. I will paste it inside. Something I also will do is I will copy the cookies. If this is the first video you're watching, the cookies is the way to give your credentials, your login credentials to the task bot. You have to install the cookie editor, this plugin. You can just copy it, go to settings and paste them in. I'm also explaining it in a lot of other videos. So paste it in. So I'm logged in. I will open the URL. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to check for an element because I want to see if the page has been loaded. So I can actually already say, or no, let's say the LE. So let me see what's happened if I just write if I write again this one. So I'm always just pressing the arrow up. LE, I have 73 now, which is not a good sign. We just actually want, I don't know, maybe there are 20 people on this page. So let's find, so it's within the main. Let's maybe start with that. So we have within the main, we have an LE. Now we have 30. I think this actually is perfect. So we have this. Let me scroll down a bit. Oh no, 30 is way too much. We have here also, we actually only want, it's actually not too much people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 11 or something results we should need. So around 11 results. So let's get this more. So the main enough is not enough. Let's find again. So we have the list. Do we have some like words like search result container is also this thing within here? Yeah, this is. So we need something more specific. This list here. This list here it only contains this UL. Where was it here? This UL role list. This only contains the things we want. So I'm going to try just UL role list. Maybe they all have it like that. So UL role list. Oh, we now have 20, so we have 10 less. We're getting there. It's still because this is also a list. So now we only want to have it from this section. So let's find something within this this section. It's maybe like, so we have main and then we have the search Marvel. It's probably this. Let's see if I now like hover over this. No, this is also, it's actually this ID. But we know from the search result it's the first div. So now I can say like you have like the main and then I can say div. I hope you're still following along with me. Search result container, and then I can say the first child, and therefore nth child 1, and now I have 12, and 12 is probably already much better. So now we have, it starts here, one, so like this to this, and the last one is this one. So this is actually perfect. Now we have the list. And what we want to do now is, this is actually a very, very smart way to work with lists. I will try to explain it as simple as possible, but what we now can do is we can actually we can actually also give attributes, so give properties to the elements. So we can, for example, say like, hey, if these are all like people with elements, or all these things are like different things, we can give them properties, and then we can actually say to not look for those properties or to look for those properties. So I hope you're understanding, but I'm going to make it very clear to you. So for example, now I found this 12 lists, and I want to, for example, now mark. So I'm going to mark the first one, and then I will work within the marked one. I will scrape all the data, and then I will actually mark the second one, scrape all the data, mark the third one, first check if the data is available. Here it will then say no, the data is not available. Go to the fourth one, scrape all the data, go to the fifth one, scrape, and when it has done 12, it will go to the next page. So this is my end goal. This is what I'm trying to achieve now. I'm already this far that I have the list. So what I want to do now is, for this selector, I want to add 2 properties. One property is I want to say the ones that I have already done, so I want to mark them. And a second property is I want to say the one I'm working within right now, because I want to save the name and the URL. So because I want to save different things, I want to know like this. Maybe I also want to save the title or the place I want to work in right now. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to check for this element, because actually I want to know if the list is loaded. If the list is loaded, I know I can start working with it. So I will check if the list is loaded. I will actually wait 15 seconds. If the list is loaded, then what I want to do is, this actually can be done with the JavaScript block. A JavaScript block, this is actually a block. Everything you put in here, it's a bit the same. Then for now, it's a bit the same than if you put it inside here. So to actually set a property, you can say just document.querySelector. So just remove the all, and then you see now we have actually selected the first element. And if you then do point set attribute, then you open and close the hyphens, and for example now I can say current and the value true. For example, if I press enter, and now I want to go and look inside of this this list. Doesn't really matter. You see current true is now inside of here. So this is only inside of this one. Like here, current true is not inside, but here now we have given like a cloud, like a property to this element. Now it says current is true because we have just done this one. Set attribute current is true. So now if we just look to an if we now just go again and do like document.querySelectorAll, we just have to look for an LE which has a current which equals true. And like you can see, we find now this match. So now we can work within this match. We can scrape all the data, what we need from here. You should maybe watch this a couple times over because it's some interesting things, but you can use this for any list you see. So you have like current equals true. You can we can now scrape all the things within this LE current equals true. Like for example, if we say now like an A, we have like the two A's, which are this one and this one. And it's like very easy to work within this element now, because we can just say the property that we have given it. So this is one interesting thing. And how to do it is actually just to put this in a JavaScript. So if I just put this in a JavaScript, this will actually do that. I can just press save, and this I can say, for example, current true. And it will do that. But I want to have two markings, just to work very, very, very organized. So I want to always set the current, but I also always want to set the ones that I have done as marked, so I know they're done. So to do that, bear with me. You can actually say like, I want to set the current true to the one which is not marked. And how to do that is if you just on the end of your thing write double colon or something, not, and then between like bracket marked. So now it will look for the one which is not marked, so the one which does not have the property marked, and it will set the attribute current to true. So this is very interesting. So I will just copy this. I will also make it a bit clearer later on. So I want to replace it, and I want to say like, okay, I want to set the attribute of the one which is not marked to true. Okay, so this is current true. So, and then on the end, when I'm actually finished, when I'm finished the scraping of this particular item, I want to set the attribute where current is true to where current is false. So let me do it first over here. So now I want to go and select the element where current is true, and because we are finished scraping, I want to set it as false. So again, I can do the all away. I can now say dot set attribute, and then I can say on the same way current, and then I can say false. So now we know. Like actually there are two things that need to happen. So when I'm finished, first I want to mark it. So for example, I want to say marked equal true. So if I do this, now marked is equal true. And then the second thing I want to do is I also want to say that current should be false now. So this seems maybe a bit complicated, but bear with me. I will go over it a few times so it becomes clear to you. So now current is false. So if I now go to inspect this item, this LE, you see that current is false and marked is true. So now the next time this will run, it will mark the next one. So because it will look for one which is, so it will always look for the next one which is not marked but has the current which is not marked. And because we marked the first one, it will now do the second one. So if I now press enter and I again go to the elements, I can now see that this one, current is false, marked as true. Here is now current true. So then also we can scrape all the information and you probably can see it coming. We will also then now find the one with the current true, which is this one. We will mark it also to true and we will set the current to false, and then the next one it will try this one, then it will try this one, and then it will try this one. So this is what's happening, and this is how you can work with any list. With any list, you just have to just keep your mind a bit up. It's a bit thinking like very logically, but if you get it once, you can always just go to your previous test bots and copy paste the code. So for example, I now just did it, so I can just copy paste the code. So I have now the one which is true. So I have this code, and then here I can paste the this one. I think if I just press like a colon and then I do enter, and then I can, or maybe let them do a part. So here I set the marked to true. So I will even write it, marked to true, and then I will also set the current to false. So I can now do the other one. So I had so this was the current to true, this was the current to false. So now I want to find the one where current is true and I want to set the current to false. So it always will go to the next one. So here I will say current to false. So here is marked as true and here is current false. So this is, and these two always should happen on the end of the flow. And this is how you can go to list. If you understand this well, and if you use these 3 blocks, you can use it in any list, in Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, any list. What I was talking about. It's you have to try it out a couple times yourself, and once you get it, and it will be so easy. Because this is a way that you're now giving properties to this thing, so then it's easy for you to see this one I have done, this one I have done, this one I have done, and you never scrape one twice, or you never do one twice, and you're actually working within the browser. So I will actually just set this up. So we will open the link, we will check the web element, and the next thing we will do is we want to start a repeat, and we want to I will just keep it simple now, just do 12 repetition, because we want to scrape 12 items. And the first thing it should do is it should mark the current one as current, and then I can actually save the save web element. And now I can very easily just work with the LE, and then actually like current. Alright, I will just do it in here, it's much easier. So now I can just work with the selector. So I will just do all. LE current is true. Like if I now choose it, you will see like it's the second one, because we finished already the first one and now we're on the second one. So I will actually pick this one, and then from here I'm now going to try to find the name and the name and the URL. So I'm just opening up, or maybe just let me find it like this. I think it's in here. So here we have the URL, the A, and this A is within, let me see if I see something. It's like within here. It's within the black light. So I want to say, like, I want to have the div. And did I copy it? No. So I will first copy it so I can. This black light, this word will always be probably the same. So I will copy and paste this. Oh, I can now close it, and now I can make it a loose match to get rid of all this strange gibberish. So now I have something like that. Maybe even I can delete. Ah no, I should not do this. Maybe I can put even the T away. Yeah, something like this. And now I can say, for example, A. And now I have one A. So now I have actually the URL of the LinkedIn profile. So if I go in here and I pick this one, I can actually save it, and I can save the web element, and I want to save it as a link, and I want to save it to the profile's URL. So now I only have to find the selector for the name, and then actually we can test it out if it scrapes them all, the first 12. So let me find out what the selector is. I think maybe if I just try like span, I have two now, but it's this one and what it also has. So it has the two. Let me see. Span. Or we have like a div display flex, and it's like the one below it. So maybe if with a little bit of luck, we can try something like this, and then actually the one direct below it is just a span, and you see now we have it. So I will press enter. So here now we have the span, and you see how we are working within a property we set ourselves. So this is some really already a little bit complex things, but this way, if you really understand it well, you're limitless. You're truly limitless. You can just automate anything you like. So what we have here, so here we have the URL, and here we want to have the name, and then we can connect these ones. Pop. And let's see what happens. So I'm also going to change the location just because to show you how universal it is, and also because I actually have no connection in Ajman. So I will just put the Flemish region. So you can see also that you can see the names of the people. That's actually the only reason why. So I will copy this link. I will paste it over in the task bot. I will paste it in here. I will, like you can see now it's completely empty. I will run it, and we will see what happens. We will see if all this work we've done tonight has meant something and made us this little agent which would now be able to scrape these people. I'm not even going to speed it up. I will just see if the magic happens. It's already very light outside. So in the meantime, I will just let it run. I will just do nothing. It's finished already. It had an error, so it's not perfect. But it also had a lot of things. So I see here the error is always with this one, LE current true. So it always saves the URL but not the name. So maybe I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I will check what happens with the profiles. So you see it scraped all the URLs but not the names. So now I will go again and try to find a solution. I probably did something wrong. So what I will do now is I will check again what I did wrong. So there's sometimes like here there comes a lot of crap, but you just have to scroll all the way down until you can find the selector. So of course, because first we need to activate something as true. So I will do this one. So now something is true. And now I want to check if I find the spam. Ah, look, and here is the thing. It has two, and it's probably not really robust because it has this two spans. So did I not say anti? So okay, I said because it has two spans here, and I actually want the. Let me see, it's inside here. No, it's a bit. Where is actually the name inside? Sometimes you can see the name inside. There is still a lot of things inside here. If I just come to here, it should be that it's because you can always like hover it so you have the right element. So it should be this element, and this element is actually within the A. So what I could do is I could take this element. Let me see, because we already know that this is a good selector. Oh, and I could just say like span because it's within, but now I again have too much. So this one is the first one. So it's actually just the first span below. So I can actually also make it a direct one. So now we still have 4. So this is also very interesting what we see right now. The page we just had, I have a feeling that the selectors now are already a bit different. And this is something we have to do a lot. We have to like try different regions. Like the more robust we want to make our selector, the more we have to try and debug to make it more and more and more specific and make it more and more harsh. So for this example, I'm just actually going to redo it just to show you like how I actually also do it in real life. I make mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes all the time, and then I try to fix them, and that is what is very beautiful. Okay, here now, you see what the reason is? The reason is because the connections I had before, I didn't have any connections in common with, and now it takes also these connections for the common connections, and that is what is happening right now. So because I have the current true, I'm only working within this, but now I have to make sure I don't pick this ones and I only pick this one. So this is also super interesting to see how sometimes elements can differ from way to way. So to do this easily, I will just go again to this element. And what we may be able to do is, for example, this, but they all will have the same type of A, so I cannot go further from there. So this has this display flex, but maybe these ones also had that. Let me try that, or maybe even this one. Like these are two classes which look like very, very nice. So instead of the black and light, I'm going to try this. Wait, this one. And you see now I only have one, so the flex is the better one. So I have now the A, and if I, so I will already paste this inside. This will also work for the other page. So I'll paste this inside. And I remember that inside of there was like a direct correlation to the span. I also have it. So here I have the span. I will paste it in again. And the second one, this will save to the name. Okay, I will delete all this profile, so delete all data. So we start with a fresh, clean page. I will run it again. And with a little bit of luck, we will now have scraped the whole page. There can also be that there will still be an error, because this one will maybe not contain the name and maybe not, but normally it will just say like, hey, I didn't find anything, but I will continue. And like that way, we actually, our end results remains very perfectly. So it started now, it opened the link, what we can see right here. And now it's actually going, and it's scraping. Giving a lot of errors, so we may not be finished yet. If I check the profiles, again we have all the URLs, but we have no names. So the span that we have chosen is not really a good selector. It's not really a good span. We have to dive deeper. Because the name is still not inside of here, and it's probably because there is still a spam in here, and like we can see, the name is in here. So we are now trying to scrape this span, but this was not, like I told you in the beginning, we always have to find the lowest, the youngest child, so the latest child for scraping and doing things. And I was not doing the latest child, I was just scraping the parent of the latest child. So I will take the one with the area label equals to true, and I guess that would probably solve the solution if I leave this open and I say I want the one with the area label true. Now I have a span, and if I open this one, I have the name. So this was my final mistake, but it's really good for you guys also to see how I handle the situation and how I keep digging and digging and digging until I find it. So again, let's see the profiles. I will just delete everything. I will now just again press run. And it will probably open again so you can see it's opening now. We do have to be a bit patient because it's not running very quickly. And now we can see it's still giving a lot of errors. This is very stupid. The reason it's giving all this error is because I'm trying to save a link. But of course I'm not saving a link, I'm saving the text. So this is actually the reason why this mistake is happening. So I will run it once more. So now it's finished. And now if we check it, we see we have all the URLs except for the third one, because this was the ad. And actually we don't like this. So what we can do to solve this problem is we can actually first check if there is a title. So I can, for example, just to show you guys how easy this all is, so I could just like put the save title first, or yeah, it doesn't actually really matter, but just say like check web elements. And I can say I want to check if we have this title. So I want to check this. If we have this title, check web elements. And if it's true, it should scrape it. If it's true, it should scrape it. And if it's not true, it can just skip the row, mark it as complete, and go to the next one. So this is this. I will just delete all the data once again. Press play. So this is actually what usually takes the most time, is when you have your ID, you found all the selectors, you're making your bot, and then you're actually just trying and trying and trying and debugging until you really debugged all the bugs inside. I'm now quite confidently it will work without bugs, so I will just keep the logs open because I know how it will work right now. So now it opened the link, it's waiting for the table to load. The table has been loading, so now it's just like scraping everything. It's already going through 3, 4, so it's going quite fast right now. It's scraping everything, and now you can see the final result. Your dashboard runs successfully. If we go to the table, it just has the 10 profiles like they loaded on the page. And yeah, this is actually perfect. This is done. You're finished. I'm just going to show you some more resources to really dive down and become a much better automator. But this was the most hard part. So if you have not, if you click the link in the description and you create an account, you will get an email which looks like this. In the email, there is a really good crash course where you can learn a lot of more things, a lot of very practical things on ZeroWork. This video went more about selectors. Also, you can join the Discord channel and the Facebook group where you can ask like questions. Like a lot of people are super handy. You can find so many subflows of automations other people have created and shared. You can share your own subflows over there. So this is just what I wanted to share, that you will receive this email if you create your account. And if you want to see some more videos, just click the next video in the description.